Hello and welcome everyone again to another video. And today's video I'll be talking about the best teams in the Open Ultra League. As you guys might know or should know, Open Ultra League is dominated by legendaries and XL Pokemons. It's a 2500 CP, and I won't be talking about go in very detailed as I always do, because we had it 3 weeks ago. So I'm just gonna quick mention some Pokemons that are decent in this cup. We have Poliwrath, Registeel, and Giratina. Tapu Fini making a comeback, and it's just because that Poliwrath is everywhere and it destroys Poliwrath, I think, in the 0 and in the 1. Zygarde, we've seen a bunch of Zygardes. Virizion is falling off the meta because Poliwrath is just a nightmare for Virizion Steelix teams, which was literally the worst thing that happened to GBL after the bugs. What's the worst thing in GBL? Virizion Steelix core. And now people can't run that core anymore because of Shadow Poliwrath. Amber is making a comeback because Poliwrath is just everywhere, and the problem with Poliwrath, to beat it, you need to do super effective fast move and super effective charge moves. Super effective charge moves is not enough. Tapu Fini lose the two because the Icy one just makes your damage abysmal. While with Ampharos, it still destroys Poliwrath because it does fast move, super effective fast move that hits hard. A9 making a comeback just for the A9s and the Giratina. Giratina and this thing are extremely popular with some Cresselias here and there. So I'm not gonna be going in depth about these, as you guys know, because everyone pretty much has an Ultra League team that they always use. So I added a new segment to the top teams content, and we call it now the top performance. What's the top performance? Best performers. This is the second video I do about it, and still I don't know how to pronounce it. Basically, the Pokemons that dominated the last rotation. And the most dominant one was actually Lantern, lacking 150 CP and still doing great. Why? Because it does super effective damage to Poliwrath, super effective fast move damage and charge move damage, and Poliwrath is a huge problem. Skeleddridge. Why Skeleddridge? Because they buffed Incinerate. Similar reason to Talonflame, and they both beat Poliwrath. Tentacruel get a massive buff. Now Scald is extremely good, and Tentacruel just needed a slight buff to be so good. Registeel. Why Registeel is good? Because every one of these has a Cresselia, and Cresselia, nothing destroys it more than a Registeel. Yep, that's it. So sometimes for you to be good, you just have to do better than someone else, right? That's literally all you need to do. So these are the top performing Pokemons. Now let's move the top performing teams. Why not BBML? Well, there is a difference between a BBML. A BBML team is basically 3 meta Pokemons combined, and they cover each other as well. Where the top performing teams are teams that someone used and they ended up doing great. And the best team here, if you look at PvPoke, Registeel, Giratina, Poliwrath. This is not Registeel, Giratina, Poliwrath. This is the Registeel, Giratina, Poliwrath. It's the top 3 PvPoke team. But this team is technically the best team according to PvPoke because you have Optimus Prime, the biggest, the strongest transformer with Registeel and Cresselia. Well, technically no one has Optimus Prime, but the thing is, it's supposed to be the best team, but technically because people don't have Optimus Prime, they use something like a Shadow Toad here. So Registeel with Poliwrath and Giratina is being the strongest team in the current Ultra League format. Some people were just had one way to play against this team, which is literally hard countering it. So you have an A-Slash in the lead, Poliwrath in the swap, and Cresselia in the back. One to beat this, one to beat this, one to beat this. That's literally what this team does. This team got popular just to beat this team. Look at that. Literally just a hard counter to Pokemon, to every Pokemon. I don't know why there is a Virizion here. I think I forgot to delete the Pokemon. Another solid team. Look at that. Look at this guy. This team also, this team here. This team does also one thing, which is beating the other one. We have a Gliscor, which beats Giratina, Poliwrath, and Registeel. We have Toxie, which beats Registeel and Giratina. Does extremely good against Cresselia as long as you have shield. Just land the Shadow Ball, then bail out, run. Swap to another Pokemon. Wilding is just a budget Pokemon with those two. I think Disable Viper used this team, though I am not 100% sure, but yeah, pretty much. Another team that people used, which is Tapu Fini, Giratina, A-Slash. The concept behind this team is basically countering the ones above. People were trying to find the Pokemon that can beat Giratina and A-Slash, and Tapu Fini does that. This thing can beat Registeel as long as you have shields, and this thing also can beat Registeel and Poliwrath as well. The Poliwrath-Giratina matchup is so scuffed because it depends on the fast move and who has more energy. And you can never go wrong with this team, and that's why I freaking love this team. I use this team like back in Season 8. It's still strong. I don't use it anymore, but my teammate Diamond Nices has always been using it, and he found it just like too strong of a team. 3 strong, like the thing about it is like extremely hard-hitting fast move pressure and 2 very bulky Pokemons. Registeel just beat everything. Cresselia is good at baiting out what beats this and covering Dragonite as well. So these are like the top performing teams, but there is something called solid teams, or you can call it also basic meta teams. And the new season team. What's the new season team? It's basically 3 Pokemons that get buffed. Well, technically, Clefable did not get a buff. Well, technically, it got a buff. What's the buff? Everything that Clefable can beat got a buff. Well, Clefable, what about Tente Acid? Not everything. When I say everything, it doesn't mean everything, okay? It just mean Poliwrath. Yeah, just mean Poliwrath in the Zero Shield. This team is still good. Why? We have something here: destroys Poliwrath, destroys Poliwrath, destroys Poliwrath, hard-hitting Pokemon against Poliwrath. There is so many videos in the channel about Shadow Dragonite because I just love this Pokemon. This Pokemon, I have a rank 1 Shadow Poliwrath, so that's why I always use it. Gliscor is still decent. This team is still good. You just replace you have to have Golisopod or Tenta or both. Why? So you can destroy the Poliwrath in the back. And for this thing, you actually need Aerial Ace now for the Poliwraths as well. The Matveer team is still good. Well, it's even better now because Poliwrath get a buff, while in the back it didn't have Icy Wind. So with this team, you can throw Tenta instead of one of the Poison Darks, but if you throw a Tenta, that means you will be double weak to Jellicent. But yeah, basically ABA weak to Jellicent. But you know, like this team is just better. I will ask Matveer if he can send me some footage using this team, but we will see. This team, I think we talked about it. This team is basically not as good as it used to be because 1, lose to Poliwrath, 2, lose to Poliwrath, 3, doesn't reliably beat Poliwrath. This team is still good. I think it's still decent. You have a neutral matchup against Poliwrath. As long as you have shield, you destroy Poliwrath, and this is not bad against Poliwrath because you have a Trailblaze. People keep forgetting that Skunk got Trailblaze, so you can hit Poliwrath with a super effective fast move or a charge move. So yeah, again, I know I'm pretty fast, but I already made a very detailed video about the Ultra League. I will be linking it, and you can find it in the channel. So we're just gonna mention some teams here and there. The Como team. The problem with Como is just Dragonite does everything better. Como was supposed to be great until they gave Dragonite superpower, and just Dragonite does everything better. And yeah, pretty much that's it for today. Thank you so much everyone for watching. This is the end of the video. If you guys liked it, make sure to leave a like on the channel and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Peace.